Top 7. The productive garden that still looks beautiful. There was a time when vegetable gardens were always pushed to the back, hidden behind a shed as a purely utilitarian area. But everything has completely changed as edible gardens began to take center stage in backyard design, where functionality and aesthetics merge into one. Raised beds are no longer just places to grow plants, but become focal points. The materials you choose determine the feel of the entire space. Cedar brings a natural warmth, while galvanized steel creates a modern feel and is nearly maintenance-free. But here is where most people make a mistake they don't realize. They invest in the form, build it beautifully, plant carefully, and then water by hand every day until the excitement fades by midsummer. And then the garden starts to be neglected. Plants wither. The entire effort collapses after just one season. The solution is actually incredibly simple but often overlooked, which is a drip irrigation system connected to a timer right from the start. Low cost but long-term effectiveness. And there is one more important factor that few think about, which is connectivity. When you create pathways through the beds, add border plants around them, this garden is no longer a functional corner, but becomes a vibrant part of the entire space. So the question is, do you want a garden to take care of, or a place that makes you want to step out every day? Top 6. Adding moving water features the right way. There is something very special about the sound of flowing water. It soothes the space, masks noise, and makes you want to linger longer. But why do so many people regret installing a pond? The first year, everything is perfect. The second year, algae starts to appear. The third year, it's mosquitoes, fallen leaves, murky water, and endless annoyance. And then many people decide to fill it in after just a few years because they misunderstood one important thing. They thought they needed a pond when what they actually wanted was just the feel and sound of water. And there is a smarter way to achieve that without standing water. That is a pondless, recirculating water system, where water flows over rocks, then disappears into an underground reservoir before being pumped back up. No algae, no mosquitoes, no danger to children or pets, and almost no maintenance required. But there is one mistake you absolutely must not make. That is choosing a pump that is too weak, because a weak stream of water will make the entire experience as dull as a leaky faucet. So will you choose to save a little on cost or invest to create a space that you actually want to stay in every day? Top 5. Creating privacy layers without ruining the garden. Everyone wants privacy in their own space. No one likes the feeling of being watched while relaxing. And so many people look for the fastest solution, which is planting extremely fast-growing species for screening. But this is the biggest mistake, because these plants often spread underground roots, grow out of control, and cause a series of serious problems, from destroying fences, cracking foundations, to affecting drainage systems. There are even cases where the cost of removing them is higher than the entire initial landscaping cost. So what is the right solution? It's not the growth rate, but the mature size of the plant. Tall and narrow columnar plants will give you the necessary coverage without spreading in all directions. Just plant them about a meter away from hard surfaces and you're safe. But what if you need privacy immediately? A temporary fence for the first few years is an incredibly smart choice. It's cheap, effective right away, and can be removed once the plants have grown enough. So are you choosing the fast solution or the right solution? Top 4. Layered lighting, the secret of nighttime spaces. Most backyards become useless at night, not because they aren't beautiful, but because of the wrong lighting. Either there is just one floodlight shining directly at the house, or absolutely nothing at all. And that kind of lighting doesn't create emotion. It just exposes everything in a flat and cold way. But when lighting is designed correctly, the same space can become warm and inviting to the point that you don't want to leave. The secret lies in 3 layers of lighting. The first layer is low lighting along paths to help guide movement without causing glare. The second layer is uplighting from the base of trees or walls to create depth and highlights. And the final layer is hanging string lights to create a soft and living feel. But there is one small detail that many people overlook, which is color temperature. Warm yellow light around 2700 Kelvin must be used consistently. Because when you mix white and yellow light in the same space, a sense of discomfort will appear even if you can't explain why. So do you want a garden just to be seen? Or a place that makes you want to step out every evening? Top 3. Zoning functional areas. Turning the yard into a living space. Most backyards fail not because of a lack of area, but because of a lack of purpose. They are just a large, empty space with grass, a patio and a fence, where people pass through rather than stop. And that is why you rarely actually use it. The solution lies in creating separate functional zones, each with a reason to exist: a dining nook, a place to relax, a quiet spot for the morning. And the interesting thing is that you don't need to rebuild the entire space. An area only needs 3 elements to become an outdoor room. That is changing the surface, creating a subtle boundary, and adjusting the surrounding plants. For example, a gravel area with a few tall pots and a shade structure can provide a completely different feel compared to the patio just a few meters away. And when the space has a destination, people start stepping outside more. Do you realize that the most used gardens aren't the largest ones, but the ones that have a reason to stay? So how many destinations does your yard currently have? Top 2. Choosing hardscape materials the right way before it's too late. Many people think that a monolithic poured concrete slab is a smart choice because it's solid, clean, and the initial cost is lower than laying individual pavers. But there is a truth that few tell you, which is concrete will definitely crack. Not maybe, but definitely. Due to expansion when hot and contraction when cold. If there are no proper control joints, cracks will appear, and once they do, it's almost impossible to fix without leaving a trace. Mismatched colors, uneven surfaces, and eventually having to tear it out and redo it. Meanwhile, large porcelain tiles or natural stone on a compacted base allow you to replace individual parts if there's a problem. But what's more important than the material itself is drainage, because this is the leading cause of yard failure after just a few years. Water that doesn't drain will erode the base, causing the surface to sink, and when it freezes, it will destroy the entire structure from below. 3 mandatory factors that cannot be ignored with the base compacted to the correct depth: a slope directing water away from the house, and a drainage trench system. So are you investing for the appearance or for true longevity? Top 1. Designing the backyard based on the view from inside the house. This is the thing that surprises most people the most. Very many gardens are designed as a project completely separate from the house. The interior is finished first, and only then is the outside considered. The result is 2 spaces that are not linked at all in terms of materials, proportions, or feel. And when you step outside, it feels like a completely different place. It is this separation that makes the garden used less than you might imagine. But more importantly, there is a psychological factor that few realize, which is you won't use spaces that you don't see from the inside. If the patio is not within the sight line from the kitchen or living room, it becomes invisibly distant. You won't happen to look out and think that today is a beautiful day to step outside, and that significantly reduces the frequency of use. There have been cases where 2 houses were nearly identical, but one yard was used daily just because it was in the sight line of a window, while the other was nearly forgotten, despite having better light conditions. Before you invest in anything, stand where you frequently spend time indoors. Look out and decide the location of the main spaces from there, because the garden you see is the garden you will use. And the final question is, are you designing for the eyes or for how you actually live?